Welcome back, everyone. 皆さん、お帰りなさい。今日は89日目です。It is day 89, and we're still doing our slightly schedule shifting, right? Early and earlier. It looks like we're going to miss the 48. This kind of looks like the first half. Oh, actually, maybe not. Hold up. In about 2 hours. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So all of our stuff is going to be consolidated together tomorrow? Yeah. So our second peak day is tomorrow. This must be the other half, which lines up pretty well. You know, that's how the cookie crumbles. Anyways, today is going to be the day before our second peak day, right? Our second peak day. So don't blink or you'll miss it, right? Okay. Let's go over some of the terms. Oh, there are no mistakes. Yeah. Benkyo shimashou. Yeah. Hello, Valentine. How are you? Let's go over. Wow, we don't have any mistakes. It's great to go over some of the weak ones, or the ones I paused on substantially before we continue. So we have right, dekiru. Oh no, dekakeru. Dekakeru. So de. What was another one? It was special case, right? These are special case. So futoji. Hey there, Bryce. Oh, you're currently residing in France, huh? Hello. So we have futoji. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have some very similar approaches. In fact, I was watching your video on AI that you were listening on a podcast, or I guess like a conversation between people. And I noticed that you are also a runner. It's funny how coincidental that is, because I also told myself that I'd be a runner for, I don't know what day it is. I think we run outside every single day, every morning before our routine, getting on stream. So yeah, today was day 868 consecutive days. And we do running too. Interesting. I do not know any French, but I certainly have met quite a few people who do, who are also interested in Japanese. Let's see. What was another one? Oh, this one took me for a loop. What was it? Full. Tokuchi. Alright, Tokuchi. Gotta remember using the kun for mouth a lot of times. And then every single day for 800. Yeah, 868 days. 868 days. It varies from long distance, speed running, cadence running, low running, so every day outside. Okay, there are a few exceptions. There are 3 or 4 days I take off to volunteer at an anime convention. But those days I'm usually just on my feet the whole day. Yeah, every single day. Outside. Rain, snow, or shine. Hot or freezing. I think it gets as low as 5 degrees Celsius and as hot as 39-ish. 868, yep. It's been 868 since we started. Told ourselves, yeah, let's get running every single day. I like how you were keeping track of your little box that you had on your display with your goals and whatnot. Very inspirational. It makes me kind of start thinking about perhaps I should make a roadmap of some sort. What's my average distance? Right now, I'm adjusting from the winter into the spring. So it's usually just half a mile for the winter. Originally, I kept at 3 miles, or what's 3 miles? What is the conversion on miles? 3K? It's around 3K before. Now it's divide. I guess anywhere between half a kilometer to 1 kilometer. It's springtime now, so I will be doing distance runs every once in a while. So usually distance runs happen every 2 weeks ish, bi-monthly. The distance run is running to a point of discomfort in half a mile distances. I don't know what that is. Okay, we'll just say 250 kilometer, 2.5 or a quarter kilometer, 250 meters intervals. Usually that goes up to, we're gonna say a distance run is probably like 5,000. I'm having problems converting between kilometers and miles, but the benchmarks are usually 3 to 5 miles for distance days. Maintenance days are half a mile, and we go from most of the time like relaxed pace, cadence, and then speed days. Yeah. For most of my personal stuff, right? For most of my personal stuff, we just start a Discord. Like, there's a Discord. Just type there for occasional inspiration here and there. But yeah, I'm not sure if you run a like you have a Discord thing. But generally, Discord is a fairly nice place to be like, oh yeah, I watched this, I read this today, that kind of thing, just to share. But usually for nowadays, I do it for personal legacy as opposed to performance, any form of performance, especially the running thing. Running thing is a quality of life habit. I do see that your distances are pretty substantial too, and the time that's quite a lot of distance. uh is that I'm kind of curious, your list of things you're gonna do, is that in a particular order, or are you working on all those things at the same time? There are certainly things I haven't really considered. Now, there is a guy that I know, his name is Gecko, who I've become quite a bit accustomed to recently, and he's from Belgium, and he currently is working on his French. So that would be pretty interesting. He's not around at the moment. Nowhere in particular. Also haven't started everything yet. I see, I see. Yeah, currently uh a little bit of an introduction. I see that you probably speak French, right? And English, of course. My background is probably a little different as well. I speak my mother tongue is Fujonese. It's a dialect of Mandarin. I'm pretty sure you probably come across it. Uh so the thing that I'm working on right now is largely to read Mandarin. There's a lot of ear training that I have, but spoken Mandarin and reading Mandarin is kind of always been kind of a bucket list thing. But generally speaking, at home, I'm more or less obligated to use Fujianese because my parents aren't English speakers. So I spent most of my life in this heritage speaking environment where my parents and I would use a combination of Fujianese and English to communicate with each other. So you're oftentimes it's like, oh, 你我只用call Meno call shopping center call Meno, and the the thing that you would typically hear where suddenly there's an English word here. It's like, it's an awfully specific vocabulary word in which it's used seldomly. And then you have words that you would use very frequently. So for the Mandarin side of things, it was kind of very humbling to see you listening to guys talking about AI and the future. And I saw that you also tracked your hours that you've in a graph form of how long you've been working on Mandarin studies. That's quite impressive if you're listening to that. It was a very humbling experience. Like, I haven't actually listened to that type of content, like technology content in Mandarin. You can kind of get the idea when they are always talking about their welfare and their life, but whenever they bring up like AI and the technicalities of AI, that's kind of hard to follow. You never heard of this dialect? Are you based in the States? I am. I am on the East Coast. The northeastern states. Usually, lots of Chinese people of Fujianese descent tends to cluster around the northeast, around the New York area. I'm a little further out, but Pennsylvania tends to collect. They tend to migrate slowly away from the New York hub. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, looking at your graph, it was what, 312 hours, I think, something like that. That's pretty. I look forward to being able to comfortably extract technical information from such content. Most of the time, my Mandarin, like listening, involves people yelling at each other, being upset with each other, like drama related things, because I play video games and watch dramas most of the time when it comes to Mandarin content. So you get used to hearing people say like, yeah, I told you so, let's go and fix this problem. It's like, why do you hate me? Why does this person like this person? That kind of stuff is more in my wheelhouse, as opposed to discussing the ramifications of AI in future lifestyle choices. That's pretty. That honestly though, that's kind of the content that I talk about in English most of the time. Yeah. So do you do this? When did you? I thought you might have a there was a chance you might live in China or like adjacent, but what brought you to Mandarin? Am I learning full time? Uh, yeah, yeah. I would say if there's anything that qualifies as full time, probably even more than full time. I do not work professionally in anything at the moment. I imagine you do. Are you in academia of some sort, or perhaps corporate? Yeah, what are you juggling? I am not juggling anything. So that's largely, it gives me the luxury of staggering and laddering more than one language. This is a personal social experiment at this point. I am not obligated at the moment. I do not have any requirements to hold a professional position. So yeah, learning full time is probably a great way to describe it. You stayed in Singapore for 5.5 years, traveled around Asia quite a bit. Dang, world traveler. I have no experience outside of my 1 semester in New Zealand, and that was close to 20 years ago. Quit your job last year in August, also learning full time now. I see. So did you move back to France, or did you move to France? Funny thing, I have this one other guy who's over here in stateside, but they're starting their second life soon in France as well, or they're planning on moving to France. That's a weird coincidence, but they cite it specifically for educational costs. They want to go to a French university, so they're working on their French to pass their exams in order to enroll in a French university. You move back to France. I see. Moving to Taiwan next year. Intriguing. Man, you're bouncing around all the time. Yeah, Taiwan is, funny enough, the current app that's being developed, or not app, but the current website that's being developed that I've been using, Hanzahiro is the main developer. Kevin is also currently residing in Taiwan. I have encountered quite a few people from Taiwan recently, so brushing up on that traditional Chinese, I suppose. I took the opportunity because I'm like reviewing traditional Chinese at the moment, as opposed to simplified, to like sync up the two. Moving to Taiwan, so I guess that's what the prep is, right? You gotta unlock that Mandarin fluency. I can see that. I think I saw that as one of your goals. For myself, this is a learning opportunity, I suppose. I don't particularly have the same goals in terms of fluency. Functional. Perhaps fluency is going to be a natural occurrence or inevitability for the process, right? Being involved in the process. I'm not sure if you like what have you done professionally, if I may ask, if it's not too personal. When have you done professionally in the, I guess, 5.5 years in Singapore? I used to work in sciences, in the biological sciences. Financials might become an issue later on, though. I can imagine, but since you're an intellectual, I'm sure you'll manage. Not sure you're gonna manage? I feel you got this locked down, but definitely not interested in going back to corporate. Oh, okay, so you were corporate. Wasting your time. That's kind of a... That sounds fairly negative, yeah. Wasting your time, huh? You worked as a data scientist? That's interesting. I might differ quite substantially. I really loved my job. Maybe I loved it a little too much, but I worked in academia, academic science. So specifically, I was in a virology laboratory, and largely finished my postdoctorate. I was doing a doctorate degree, and completed the doctorate, and then did some light postdoctoral work. And probably I would say, if there's any concise phrase, properly burned out. Like, I burned out quite a bit, and that burned out was largely because I really liked my job, but funding, the competitive process, that type of thing kind of soured quite a bit of the experience. But that is one of the usual expectations when it comes to professional careers, competition for funding and resources. So now that I'm not particularly required or obligated for a financial reason, I take the time to continue falling in love with what I usually do, which I guess, how would you say it in the words of some people, that an internal scholar. I like to think that I have the luxury of being an internal scholar until the day I stop drawing breath. Didn't know burning out because of too much love was a thing. Interesting. You didn't what how do you imagine people burning out? I'm always kind of curious about that. I think there are definitely two very wildly different ways of interpreting burning out, and the one that I am most accustomed to, which are people of great passion, right, is that they expand and they fall in love with something so much that they expand so rapidly that they can no longer juggle it. And that is the burning out I'm referring to. I guess nowadays, burning out tends to refer to someone who has become so incredibly dependent on their singular focus that they double down and triple down on being entrapped into this dependency to the point they can no longer manage it. That's probably those two types of burnout. Yeah. You are imagining because of forcing you to work on something you hate. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Going into something you hate. That. And the symptoms will definitely be overlapping in that case. For too long and for too many hours a day. That makes sense. I see. Interesting. I should keep that in mind now that I think about it. I haven't talked about that type of thing in a while. Largely nowadays, right? When you're doing like educational, or when you're doing learning stuff and sharing your experiences, typically you more often encounter kids of passion. So those who are like young adults, maybe between 18 to 25, who are chasing their passions, and that type of burnout happens most of the time, where they chase their passions to the point where the passion burns out, right? The love to change their whatever they love into something that they want to do professionally, and realize that something they once loved becomes something that they dislike or no longer is interesting. Hence, in my opinion, the literal candle, that passion that burns out on both ends. I see that your life has instilled a imagery of doing something that you hate out of obligation. Intriguing. No, thanks, Bright. I imagine this is the second time it'll be a little different. Sometimes I wish for people, like on a tier, the type of burnout that you're describing definitely reminds me of the generational gap between now and then. I would say I don't know if this is related to like outside of the United States, but the millennials of the United States are the college generation, like the generation where there's a mixed bag where you have people who chase after a degree in order to secure their career potential, and I happen to be an oddball. I would say I'm in the minority. I loved the thing that was forced upon the system. So I went to college, went to graduate school, if not med school. So if I didn't go to graduate school, I obviously would have gone to med school, and I would love it nonetheless. But in what made it that I started streaming and stuff is because I've realized that now what used to be rare in my older generation, the generation that I'm associated with, the newer generation is experiencing it's a social norm. So the thing that I burned out, the way I burn out, the symptoms, the routines and the behavioral responses and the management coincidentally are very similar to the management system and behavior of study and intellectual pursuits nowadays, or like Gen Z and on, where they're hyper focused on objectivity. They decide on something that is algorithmically based. It enriches for their soul passions, but that also limits their scope of adaptivity. So they're less intellectually experimental at an early age, but incredibly focused and dedicated. But that dedication and passion being limited to the algorithm basically pigeonholing you into normalizing one type of passion, it leads to a very much earlier onset of burnout that I'm describing that I experienced in my 30s. But nowadays kids in their like 20s, 21, 22, burned out on their first whatever passion they had, influenced by the internet, and then they start wandering the desert for the next thing, right? And that is usually their first experience with what happens when you turn the thing you love, the thing you depend on for good feelings, into a profession, and then that profession washes all the color out of their one passion. That's kind of my thought. Now that you mention it, you also burned out from Mandarin 7.5, 7 out of 8 years, 7 to 8 years ago, huh? Put too much pressure on yourself? Yeah, that's the type of burnout we're talking about. Yes, that would be the burnout. Something you voluntarily choose to do, and then the passion just, it was you, there's too much, right? Like you did too much, laid on the line, and then suddenly it kind of just fizzled out. And I think kids nowadays, even before they decide to build a repertoire of skill building and problem solving, they the internet has this way of hand over fist selectively focusing all their energy into one thing. So collectively, like, younger adults do not participate in physical activity for maintenance, budget, plan, problem solve, critical thinking, but they are incredibly brilliant and passionate on whatever they focus on. Are you thinking about going back to academia? I thought about it. I really did think about it each day. I keep up with like the general landscape of academia, and obviously it's I don't know how it is in France. I imagine there are plenty of coverage of what it's like in the United States, and academia is not on it's not any, in my opinion, I'm going to be a little bit general, but it's not any better than when I burned out and left it at the moment. So a lot of times when it comes to doing science, it's probably in the private sector or some sort of industry. And even then, I have no necessary large pressure. I would love to do some sort of like freelance work or consultation work when it comes to that type of thing. I love solving problems. So like one of the, or academic curiosities, they're not necessarily negative. Like problems seem to suggest that it's a negative thing, but more like academic curiosities. And learning a language, self-studying and learning a language is like the new thing that I quite enjoy. Largely, I chose language learning because it's functional for my purposes. I tend to do most things with a pragmatic function involved. So I like playing video games. So these Japanese and Mandarin is kind of very relevant to the entertainment industry, and Spanish, being next to English's larger application for communication. Nothing really out of passion. It's kind of interesting that I say this now, but after a life of pursuing specific careers and whatnot, nowadays I just live to relate, to empathize with people. Less so interested myself. I'm not sure how old or how much you have of yourself, but I think this is gonna sound a little arrogant, but I'm almost 40. I turned 38 recently, and I think that's pretty good amount of time for developing self-awareness. And nowadays, I'm more interested in what other people are doing. And sure enough, learning Japanese is very, very trendy at the interface of entertainment and language learning in the United States, at least. And Chinese is relevant because my parents, my immediate family, and Spanish, well, I live in the United States. Spanish is largely ubiquitous in the United States. What do you plan on doing in Taiwan? Actually, may I ask? Do you have any plans, seeing that it's very imminent next year? Go over one last word. We have Fkin, right? Fkin is... Are you also starting this channel of yours? You have done quite a lot of days now. Was there any aspiration on you in terms of involving some sort of content creation when you moved to Taiwan? We have Fkin. Let's see. Why did this trip me up? In and who? Oh, it's because the mixed character. We didn't have an onyomi read until now. Prep for a marathon? Nice. Learning Mandarin, practicing harmonica, yes, those are lists, and then starting learning DJ. So is that those are unrelated to Taiwan, are they? Is there like a harmonica or DJing scene in Taiwan? They're very awfully specific. I keep telling myself that I practice the 2 or 3 guitars that I have sitting in the corner. I'm like actually quite literally looking at the guitar, but it's been a while since I picked up a instrument. Used to I used to be a violinist, and then I picked up 2 guitars in like the last 7 years. And then DJing, I did a little bit of music production, but I never thought about what it would be like to do DJing. Interesting. You kind of want to do like Mark Rebellet at some point. Do I know this person? Oh, that's his. Oh, interesting. I didn't match the name to that guy's face. I see. Well, I look forward to seeing how that works out. I do like electronic music quite a bit as like a mood thing. No idea if there's any scene, just doing this for fun. I see. Taiwan was the most fun place you've been in Asia of all. Oh, okay. It gives you the opportunity to grind your Mandarin. Yeah, that's kind of what Kevin did as well. The person who started Hanzi Hero. His brother Phil, they're a 2-person team. His brother Phil still chilling in Florida as far as whatever information they're offering. I have yet to visit an Asian country, so perhaps sometime in the future that'll present an opportunity. Usually within the next 2 years, because both my parents will be retired, formally retired then. Taiwan certainly would be an interesting place to visit. Yeah. It was nice talking to you too. Good luck with whatever you're planning on doing today and for the year before you head off to Taiwan. Looking forward to hearing you drop some tracks maybe in the future, right? Yeah, thanks for the discussion. I really appreciate it. It's very humbling to see another person putting hundreds of hours into Mandarin. I'll catch you later. Good luck. All right. So we got 4 terms here. Not too bad. The kakeru to go out, right? And futoji for Baltex, and tokuchi for doorway, and in neighborhood. All right. So not much on the docket today. Let's add the 7. We hit the 2-hour mark, or 2 p.m. mark. So we add the 7. Let's get into it. Yeah, in case I don't know, Valentine's still here or whatnot. In case people are curious, as a background, we have like 2 hours. In case of background, Bryce Learn Stuff is I guess a channel startup as well. That person and I, interestingly enough, we coincidentally probably have very similar overlapping behaviorisms. And I was looking through, Bryce made a comment finding a fellow grinder, right? Endurance, we're gonna call it endurance personalities. And endurance personalities tend to have very selective projects involved. And I was very curious. He left a video comment, so I reciprocate most of the time, and I was looking at his channel, and yeah, sure enough, very regular, frequent postings on day-to-day Mandarin things. also live streams. Bryce is taking the approach where he has word discovery on one side, lots of like metrics somewhere else, and then doing the immersion approach or demonstrating the immersion approach by following following content being posted on YouTube. As per usual, I usually do most of the immersion stuff off stream for myself because I do not feel particularly comfortable in restreaming other contents for like posterity's sake. So most of the time off stream. Here we do vocabulary and whatnot due to like financial investments, right? Buying subscriptions and things that are probably very analogous for other people's experiences. That this Mandarin is exceptional already. I was listening to how he was making commentary, so it would be very similar if I were to watch other content. I'd probably pause every once in a while, reflect on things, mine a few words here and there. Very similar aspect, and clearly Bryce is also preparing for a marathon, of which I prepared for one a bit back, like 10 years ago. Really interesting how coincidental these things are. The internet certainly brings people together based on behavior. Anyways, it was nice connecting with someone who shares that type of mentality. I am very, very partial, of course. Sound like a broken record most of the time, but I'm very partial to people who have personalities or behavioralisms that promote a long, sustainable, endurance-minded life where troubleshooting, maintaining discipline and due diligence. So it's kind of refreshing. It was very humbling, actually. However, he is going about it. Certainly is working well, and obviously far more committed in a different type of goal. One big differentiating factor that I was trying to make is that while we both have very surface level, right? Very surface level. Parallel behavioralisms when it comes to commitment and sustainability. It clearly the two of us have different backgrounds in how that was taken advantage, like how that was leveraged. On my end, I am a person who worked towards passion a lot of times, and it seems like Bryce is doing a pivot around continuing to explore what they enjoy. My calling is I like working. In fact, if I worked for corporate, my opinions probably wouldn't have changed. I love working hard, solving problems. Obligations make me feel like I have a purpose. So whether it is to, I don't know, make my boss earn billions and billions of dollars, that's something that I'm probably fairly well equipped to do, largely because I like enjoying feeling needed. Others, that's probably what I see on surface that differs between us. And then maybe like something related to language learning, it's pretty clear that they are very committed to integrating Mandarin competently as a speaker. For myself, reading Mandarin, reading at enough level for entertainment purposes and consuming media is my primary goal. So it's very different how we're gonna go about it. Usually our goals will be focused solely for those aspects and then fill in the other foundational. Well, you might not see me immersed in things, so perhaps hang out, cheer Bryce on. Bryce is doing the, I would say, the far more common approach to acquiring a language, right? They want to speak, form sentences very early, have conversations in real time. For myself, I see myself interacting with Japanese and Chinese in this manner for the foreseeable future. I do not plan on moving to Japan or Taiwan or anywhere else. So the vast majority of things I'm doing is reading. So largely, if I read characters, get used to reading characters, that's cool. And in terms of speaking and construction, that will probably happen in a very closed loop way, dealing with video games and talking about video games, characters, and whatnot. So it's not that I'm gonna go to Taiwan and Japan and sound like I learned everything from anime or something. However, I'll try my best if that opportunity ever presents itself. But generally speaking, that is kind of the goal. Like if I sound like I'm some person who plays a lot of video games and only collecting vocabulary and cadence and conversationalism from video games, is because that is my goal. So I wanted to clarify that a little bit. I think this will become more clear once 100-day rolls around and I go through the review process of WaniKani and Anzahiro. So just wanted to clarify some things. Fluency is fantastic and it probably comes as a byproduct for me. But people perhaps like Bryce, if I'm being presumptuous, right? They want to live in that language. So committing to going to Taiwan is a great example of someone who would commit to that, right? Just I really want to clarify this because I think it's become a very common trend when someone presumes that the natural state or the most characteristic state of acquiring a language is motivated by wanting to also assimilate into another environment. I think that may or may not happen. However, just thought I take this opportunity to talk about being clear about your goals and then working towards them. All right, let's get into our review. This shouldn't take too long. Yeah, we won't hit 4. All right. Change. Takeru. Right? No. Wait. Hold up. It's just to transform, right? Transform into something. What are we transforming into? Or what are we changing into? I immediately wanted to say, okay, oh there, turtle. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Met someone new today. A fellow Mandarin learner. Sticking life at stride, in strides. Yeah. To transform or to change? What are we changing? I feel like it's the car. It's gotta be the car. Akeru. You're gonna ask, how was my morning or day been? Yeah, we spent most of the morning kind of looking over this guy's content, actually. This person, Bryce, also has a very coincidental approach to sharing his language learning journey. So that's kind of how I spent my morning. Aside from running and then being here. That's it. We're slowly getting a little bit earlier each day to accommodate for the switch and the stuff happening in April. How are you? What have you been up to? Hmm. I can't think of anything else other than the car. Akiru. Go change. Okay. Is there anything for K? So this is change, transform. I want to say it's Ka, but that doesn't sound like a tune. Ka sounds like an onyomi. Went to CrossFit, got a cut, got a cut, as in you cut yourself? Hopefully you got a band-aid for that one. Helped your friend with her dog's birthday photo shoot. Now just chilling or gaming? Jeez. Birthday photo shoot. Does it have... Oh, a haircut. Okay. Oh, you got your ears lowered. I see. For a moment I thought you like cut yourself on like some equipment or something. I'm like, oh, hopefully you got a band-aid. Sorry. I didn't think of haircut immediately. Kakeru. Trying to reason Kakeru. Or maybe not Kakeru. It's not it. It's definitely not it. Oh, this is gonna grind my gears, huh? Oh, this is gonna grind my gears. It's a sheep. It's a sheep. So you're transforming into a sheep. And a sheep goes ba. It's the coon for this. It was super nice and stuff, and you gotta send you photos or a link to check them out. The photos? The doggo photos? What kind of dog does she have?
Bakeru.
Bakeru. This is supposed to be gate. Oh my gosh. Nah. That's so annoying. To change form. Yeah, I mean that's pretty annoying. Actually, we're just gonna reset that for now. That's pretty annoying. That to change it's not taken for short for change form. It's a corgi? Oh no. I have a soft spot for corgi. Do we tricolor? Or are we talking about standard? Wait, which one? Pembroke? Or I forgot what the other one's called. What do we got? Person? Person? I don't know this. I'm not confident about this one either. So person plus. What is that thing? Dirt and rice patty. Oh, hometown? Person, hometown. Oh, this is human habitation, right? So human habitation is nin. Oh, hitobito. No, hitozato. I'm pretty sure this is hitozato with a rendaku. So, hito kun human habitation. Do kun plus zato. Zato, which is then plus kun. In orange and white. Okay, the Pembroke one. You don't you don't use Instagram, so trying to find something that I can link you. Oh yeah, no worries. No worries. Take your time. I don't use Instagram either. Hitozato. It can't be anything else. What else could be? Ni? No, I only have Sato. Yeah. No other thing.
Hitozato.
Hitozato. Alright, now we're getting back to the good stuff. Still roll. Yaku.
焼く
Ano. Lively energy. So lively energy is still lively energy, right? Eh? Ki? Eh, ki? No. Oh, kaki. Whoops. Bad day, bad day. It's kaki. Fine. Can't come sooner, I suppose. No. We're fixing something, right? We're fixing something for Sue.
Yakunin.
Yakunin.
大学生
Daigakse. Shape. Katachi. Wait, katachi.
形
Sorry, we gotta get back in the gear of this. Okay.
直す
Also. Ass. I'm getting stuck between Sue and Tsu. Pretty sure this is Tsu. Right. Wait.
Dojitsu.
Dojitsu.
Kokoro tsuyoi.
Kokoro tsuyoi. Oh, no, wait. Make sure we don't mess this up. Did this right pass through or two pass? Probably pass through. I actually am going to add to pass through. Because I don't think the kanji characters should be should not include to the infinitive. Now that I think about Spanish more often. Oh, don't you dare. Okay.
医学
医学 correct fix. Okay. I gotta add this. Correct fix is we're fixing the correct. That's not reevaluate. To evaluate is me. He knows. So correct. Plus fix. What do we know about this? We're hanging up on the meaning, but do I know the read? You're correct. So say is an own for this. Say fix. Say choku. What was the other one? I only remember choku because it's the one that's been used so far. Shochoku? No. Seichoku. That doesn't ring a bell. That doesn't sound right. What are my other choices? Nah, this one's tough. I feel like this is an irregular. Or so say and show, right? Show. Oh, I know what this is. Shojiki. Shojiki. The reason why shojiki sounds familiar is because it helps me remember the meaning. It's honestly or honest. Because honestly, the shogun saying jiki jiki is weird, right? So this is honesty. This one's I don't know. This one's gonna suck for a while. Maybe I should use it more often. Shojiki.
Shojiki.
Shojiki. That one's gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna remember that when it comes back around. Or like right off the top of my head. That took too long. Kun for thought. Kangae kata.
Kangaekata.
Way of thinking. Yakai. Now is this society? Yeah, because Kaisha is company. This is society. Yakai sounds fine. I don't see a problem with it.
社会
Yakai. Society. Bleed. Wait, is bleed still Ketsu? No, it's chi. Right? It's chi because of the cheese.
ち
Chi. This is honest.
早く
Hayaku. New Year's. What the heck? Oh, New Year's might be different too. All of these suck. Oh no. I don't remember. Okay, Shoal. Wait. Seigetsu. Shogetsu. Shogatsu. Seigatsu. All of them sound fine. Wait. Okay. The Shogun, right? You hate the Shogun's guts, right? That's the thing. Because you hate the Shogun's guts because the Shogun doesn't like New Year's or celebrate New Year. So we're gonna go with Shogatsu.
正月
Okay. And it's New Year. Oh, these are rough. I'm gonna write this down too. So what was it? Correct plus months. I guess could be moon. I'll just put month. Sho plus Gatsu. New Year. So we're obviously hitting some bad patches here. A doll. Ningyo. Wait. Right, Ningyo. How did I get Gyo? It's another read. This is kind of special too, to some extent. All I can think of is people at Nintendo have gyozas, but I don't know why. Yo. So your eyes on your service. Eyes on your service is still your duty or your role. Yo.
人形
Did I screw this up? Oh, I wrote the wrong thing. Yeah. I wrote K instead of Ka. Lively? Lively energy is still lively. I feel like I added lively. Energy, spirit, liveliness. I probably added lively. I did. Spirited. It's a noun. Oh, I see. So liveliness works. That's fair. I guess lively and spirited would be adjectives. That's why they went with the energy, liveliness, vigor, spirit, liveliness. I remember liveliness. Guess we're writing this down too. So what we have lively plus energy equals energy. We're gonna write liveliness. I like liveliness. And this is definitely ka. Katsu, but the tsu is shortened. Pretty confident. So kaki. Which I ran incorrectly. Around. Oh, and then human habitation, which I also ran incorrectly the first time around. I want to write to take out, but something tells me I added that. No, to pick out. Okay, but that's fine. I think that's fine. That's fine. I'll accept it. I don't think I have a problem with that. How did I screw this up? Oh.
Hitozato.
How did I screw this up the first time? Oh, because it stopped on the other thing. Conjugation. Conjugate.
役目
言い方。
言い方
Okay.
取り出す。
取り出す。
活用形。
活用形。
雲
雲。
空間。
空間。
活気
楽器。Don't forget the 連絡。
かき氷
かき氷。Jiritsu is independent, right? What was... Oh, it was, decision. Chiketsu. Right. Jiritsu... This could get mixed with Shiritsu, but Shiritsu was private, right? I got this wrong before because
自立
I wrote private off the whim. And I screwed this up the other day too. Be bent.
Magaru.
Mangaru. This was the scientist putting a slide through the heart to reach certain Itsu. Screwed this up. Whoops. I almost screwed it up again.
うち
Uchi. Moto.
妹
Wait. Which one is acceptable here? That could be inside, it could be home. I mean, I hope I added inside to this, but maybe we don't add inside here. I'm not so confident with this one. My gut is telling me, type home, type home. It's only inside when it's attached to something. Oh, I'm gonna get so drunk.
Ane.
So triggered. Fuming.
Fun.
Aozora?
青空
So triggered.
Kaisui-gyo.
海水魚. I'm so triggered. Home, not like yeah home, not like the house, but like within, like it's my uchi, my, like, to the self, the home of self. Kind of hard to express. I guess inside or within is pretty good. Are we just stuck with inside? Like the figurative home. I don't think any of these things change from Yaku. Why is this Yaku? Yaku is Onyomi, right? It's just Onyomi. It's one of the exceptions.
役に立つ
This is ayakuchi. No rendaku.
早口
Yeah, I'm so triggered by this. That is so triggering right there. Bakeru.
化ける
That one's triggering too, to change form. Very, very triggering. Oh. So the reason why this is triggering is because transitive and intransitive, they're infrequently giving a pass on putting a direct object or not putting a direct object. And oftentimes transitive is placed with a direct object as optional. So when you're doing transitive, you can say to change or to change form. But in intransitive, you must apply like a random word or a random phrase, like to be fixed, or like to get fixed, or something like that, right? And in this case, this is one of those few, like to change, you're changing form. To change, as opposed to change, which can be mixed up with like, I don't know, you're changing your clothing or something, or to change as in to substitute. But this is still what that means. It's still to change as in to transform. But the reason why they didn't add this is because they wanted to be specific to make it evaluate. But it's both of these. They should be including both of these because retroactively the meaning is there. And also, it's inconsistent. It's absolutely inconsistent between how they identify a transitive and an intransitive. So I personally retroactively added all. I have to go back and personally retroactively add this. And I also am aware that there are going to be something down the line where these things are going to be blocked out, where they blocked out the intransitive meaning because you want to remember this as the transitive meaning, right? However, in English, when you're thinking about this, you negotiate that based on the context of the sentence, in my opinion, not the actual vocabulary word. Isolate it without the context. So we'll see if that becomes a problem. Either way, I'm still gonna either pick one of these the best I can, and I'm adding these as a footnote to myself, and if it gets blocked out, it gets blocked out, right? It'll say like it's blocked out or something, and I'll make some note in the future. But I don't believe that this is a double standard. Intransitive and transitive are not filling in properly and consistently between these two, and I don't particularly think it is very difficult to understand these when you have context, especially when there are like particles and whatnot. And that's why this stuff kind of like double check. It's a 50-50. Like, should I type it change form to get it wrong because the primary is transitive? Most of the time you get away with it because transitive is both direct object plus minus direct object. And then intransitive, it's a 50-50 if you type less. So whenever you think of an intransitive thing, you're going to try to type more. And this one kind of sucks too because it's a keru, and there's no made mention that this, unlike the other note where something is ke, the ke is usually the transitive form, right? But this is not one of them. but they don't consistently also say that either. We're like, oh, okay, well, we gave you the note that e instead of ka, right? E instead of ka. Ka is usually, oh, actually, I take it back. Yes. Wait. Yeah, usually it's the other way around, but this time it's different. So it only goes one way, but doesn't account for the other way. Weird. It's a weird decision, and I'm sorting it out myself, which makes me pause on most of those things because I kind of do want to know whether it's transitive or intransitive. And it can be very helpful in the future when I'm deciding on particles. Stop.
明日
Can't spell water. Uchi's still taking. I'm so triggered. Save me. Oh, this is grain. As opposed to, yeah, this is grain.
Taiyaku.
Ayaku.
内ポケット
Chi pochetto. Napoleon. Sanse.
ナポレオン三世。
Ankle. Ashikubi.
足首
Ooh. Ooh. Oh my goodness. All right, that's fine. We had some rough ones today. These definitely came up because I got them wrong before. Pretty sure these are the weak ones. It's like all the weak ones stacked together. Understandable. Anyways, we gotta get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is second peak day. Right? That was a rough one. Yeah, most of the ones today are really rough. Very rough. All right, one lot. A few more times over. So, jammed in, history, tent, clown, building, spicy, heavy, anti, brush, correct, machine, code rack, helicopter, cleat, hope, spring, squid, yurt, gladiator, eternity. 2 hour reads. Okay. Bye. じくわくうつくよの100やじそうけんびういそうだんぞよしんほしand uchi meaning inside or within. I'm gonna look this up for a sec. Can't even find uchi. Oh wait, that's because I typed in. Yeah, one's home, one's family, my spouse, my husband, my wife, signs on behalf of, I and me. Yeah, the home. And it's usually written in kana alone. Actually, I guess that's kind of where they went with that, huh? But all of these are, except for within. Oh, interesting. So I guess I'll give it a pass for this. It only applies when it means other things outside of inside and within. But you only write uchi in kana outside of the meaning. I'm still gonna put in there for safeguard. But yeah, so it's all the other meanings usually are written in kana alone. So this is the only time they use this character, or I guess frequently use this character for inside and within. It's still the same. This is the thing they're referring to though. Okay, it's fine. We'll get used to that. And then we have a couple more things. What time is it? So let's go over the many things today. I'm having trouble remembering this one. For whatever reason. Kiru. So this is ba. I'm having trouble remembering ba. Right. Not the transform thing. I've been using transform because I didn't think to change and to change form were gonna be marked that way. And the one time I used change, so we went back and blocked this out. And then person and home, right? Hometown. I totally forgot about hometown. Honestly, I don't actually know what the stroke order is. Probably complete the rice paddy herd. We're gonna add one of the things we're gonna add back is stroke order information. Yeah, see, It's probably pulled through. It feels more comfortable when you pull through like this. But that might be the Chinese stroke order. Okay. Hitozato. Right. Human habitation. I more align this to community. Here's community. Then we have correct and fix. Correct. Get used to writing it this way. Correct, fix, naosu. So show, right? Show. Shojiki. Or honest. Then we had correct and month for New Year's. So the two that happens to be sho. And sho gatsu. No gatsu. New Year. And lively energy. That's a noun. So liveliness. Liveliness equates to kaki. Kaki. So ka. That's awful looking. Kaki. Liveliness. Okay. All right. Rough start in the beginning, but a great conversation to start in the beginning. I'm looking forward to that guy. I'm looking forward to Bryce's DJ Jax. Huh. I didn't get a chance to ask him if he's gonna do like some voice samples in Mandarin. Oh, imagine DJ Jax with Mandarin voice samples. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I've heard such a thing. What he's gonna do? Marathon, Mandarin fluency, DJ, and harmonica. That's a passionate fella. All right, so we got a great discussion. Met another person, right? Who's very dedicated. All the power to his in pursuits. Anyways, that's a wrap for WaniKani today. We gotta watch this there. Arigatou gozaimasu. We're coming in on 10 days, and then we're switching up the stuff. You know, as a teaser, things that I was doing today, double check, right? And the reason why I'm going to use double check is because pretty much anything that stops the flow of the SRS, they're coin flips. I'm teetering between two things, and double check is enough of that. It allows me to negotiate the two coin flips, right? And it allows me to add things. It encourages me to add things. Also context sentences. I'll come back later. And pitch information and stroke information, because I can see that there are places still where I'm like, I would write it this way, but it's probably not that. So I like being able to see the characters being written in my head. So those are kind of the few things that we're going to be adding to this workflow. I don't necessarily think consistently getting nailed. If you know the 50-50, know all those things, and once, in my opinion, whenever I'm like reading stuff, right, when you're reading sentences and paragraphs, they fill in pretty quickly, even if you're doing 50-50s on SRS. So my thing is more of a compromise. Okay, so until next time, for those who are only interested in Japanese, right, thank you, right, and always feel free to follow along or drop your hot takes. I love to discuss them, right? Discuss hot takes. I make time for it at any possible opportunities. Even abandon my session for the day. So for those who are only interested in Japanese, minasan, mata ne. I'm gonna get up, take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back for Hanzo Hero. Thank you.